Hi, I'm Tola,
And I'm Yinka,
and together we run a consulting company called TA Consulting.
where we create strategic brands for ambitious companies. Tola, why don't Nigerians trust Nigerian brands?
I would say the reason why Nigerians don't trust Nigerian brands is because Nigerians understand Nigerians more than other people. We understand Nigerians. No one can know a Nigerian better than a Nigerian. And there's one thing we know about ourselves in Nigeria, especially when it comes to the business climate. We understand that a lot of people that go into business in Nigeria go into business to make a quick buck and not out of a sense of empathy. So that knowledge in itself, that out of 10 people, 9 people go into business out of a sense of, I want to make money from this business first and lastly. That is the sole aim, and not out of, oh, I empathize with the people I'm serving. That is the reason why there's that distrust in the first place.
So, you've spoken about empathy. What is empathy? What is this empathy that you keep speaking about that the Nigerian businesses lack?
Oh, empathy. I think very simply put for me is when a business, and that's empathy in business. So we can put it in some perspective here. Empathy in business is when a business person or someone who is about to go into business can think of the customer's journey. You understand? Think of the customer's journey, and then what does the customer experience while trying to work with you, when they are engaging with you, and after they have engaged with you. You can think of these three phases. Before they meet you, when they meet you, and after they meet you as a business person. You can try to put yourself in their shoes. What do they experience? Now, when you can put yourself in their shoes, you can now take note of what I call the pain points in that journey, where you say, oh, it will be hard for the customer to do this, or they will feel some discomfort doing this. This might be a little bit uncomfortable for them. And you can take care of those pain points and try to eliminate them or mitigate them, and say, to make the customer journey as easy and seamless and as pleasurable as can be. If you can do that as a business person, then you are being empathetic.
But is there any specific reason why Nigerian brands in particular lack empathy?
Yeah. I had this conversation with someone a while back, and it kind of came from, I was trying to buy dog food, dog kibble. And I got to the shop where I was meant to buy it, and I saw one that was made in the UK, one that was made in France, and one that was made in Nigeria. And the one that was made in Nigeria was way cheaper than the ones made in the UK or in France. Of course, my wallet was saying buy that one, but I didn't, because I had done some research and I saw that people had given a review on a particular blog, and they had talked about how when they tried to store it, they saw maggots in it, the dogs ate it and started having some kind of bloody stool, and that scared me. And I saw the review of the ones that were made in UK and France, and said, oh, when the dogs ate this, they looked better, they were more active. And I kind of thought about it, and I asked myself this question: why don't Nigerian brands have empathy? And that's because we have this survival mentality. And when you are led by the survival instinct, you don't think about the experience of the people that come in contact with you anymore. You just think of what you're going to get at the end of the day. So just like, and the survival instinct is heightened in the jungle. So a lion doesn't think of how a mother zebra feels when he comes and takes the child from he doesn't think of, oh, it's going to make this mother zebra feel bad, or this herd of buffaloes feel bad that they're going to lose. No, because it's majorly driven by instinct of survival. And I think that's the problem here in Nigeria, because it's such a hard environment. It's such a hard environment economically. So people only think of survival. There are basic things that people just want to meet. Oh, is there light? Is there water? Is there this? And that also seeps into business where you just want to make a quick buck to survive as a person. So you're not thinking of people's experience anymore. And that's the biggest problem we have when brands don't have empathy, because it's just about what am I going to get out of it? At the end of the day, what does that translate into me getting the means to survive? So getting shelter over my head, getting food, getting electricity, getting water, and that becomes the bottom line. And it's not about caring about the customers anymore.
Yeah, I imagine that there are little signals that businesses. So if you have experience with a business, maybe your first experience, you get these signals that all they want is for you to part with their money, with your money. And that's all they want. And they don't really care if the product you are getting actually meets your criteria or solves your problem.
Exactly.
And that's the lack of empathy, where it doesn't seem like they care about you and what you do as long as you have paid.
As long as you have paid. They actually don't care. That's the truth. Some of them might care about what the product does, but they don't care about the journey towards the product or the journey after the product. So, and I'll give this example. You go to some shopping malls in, let's say, Abuja here. You go to some shopping malls, and I'll say 98% of the shopping malls we have in Abuja here, there's a big problem they all have. It's a lack of parking space. So you go to a shopping mall and are thinking of where to park your car. But the shopping mall has everything you need. But to park your car to get into the shopping mall is a problem. But you go to other shopping malls, and I dare to say ShopRite right now. You have ShopRite nearly everywhere in Nigeria. And one thing ShopRite has put in, the structure they've put in there, is that they will not build if they don't have enough space for a particular amount of cars. And because they know that if people are coming to buy, they cannot be thinking of where to park their cars. They cannot be thinking, oh, will my car get clamped? You understand? It allows them to have a better shopping experience. And they can spend a longer time in the shop knowing that my car is safe. I have somewhere to park. That's empathy. But, someone that's just thinking about, let people come and buy, he would use 98% of the land to build the shopping mall. And the 2% is like, okay, you guys struggle out for the parking space and park anywhere. If you get clamped, don't get clamped on my property, but that's not my business. You understand? So that's where the survival kind of kills empathy, and that's why Nigerian brands don't have empathy.
So what's the way forward now? I guess the question is, how can Nigerian brands begin to acquire empathy? Is it a question of acquiring
or learn empathy?
Or learn empathy,
yes.
And how can they show it in business?
I think the way forward, in my opinion, is the thing about this survival mentality. It has become tradition now and culture. And what I mean by this is that you realize that people that don't really have to think of survival are still in survival mode. So you realize that a business, I can understand with the small business trying to survive, thinking, oh, I really don't have time to think about the customer experience afterwards or getting to me. What they're just thinking of building that small kiosk and just come to my small kiosk and buy from me. I can imagine that person having to think of rent, paying. But what the problem now is when you now have somebody with enough in terms of resources to survive, but still not thinking in an empathetic way. So you have somebody who has accommodation, who has steady transport means, who has everything in place in terms of what you need to survive, but that person is still operating the business like, I still need to survive. So you still are not thinking of the customer. Now, the way forward is that if you know you are a business person, you are privileged enough for survival not to be a distraction for you. And then Nigerians that fall into that category, whereby they really are not dealing with everyday survival. And those people go into business. Those people must break that mentality of we are doing business to survive. So those people must be able to take the time to dot the I's and cross the T's. So if we have some businesses in Nigeria paying attention to detail, you know what, our trust level will begin to increase. Say, okay, this is a Nigerian brand, but they're doing it right. They're thinking about the experience. I have a company very close to where I live where they deal with gas cylinders. And you can see that they are paying attention to the pain points of customers. They come and pick up your gas and they take it and fill it up and things like that. And you can see that the owner of that company has broken that live for survival means. They know that, okay, I don't need to do this thing to survive. I'm doing this thing because I care. So the people that are doing business because they care are the ones that can start breaking that mentality. So of course you might have like 100 businesses in Nigeria and 80 of them are operating with a survival mentality. Just come and buy from me and I don't really care about the experience because they really need to survive. But those 20 must be good enough ambassadors to say, you know what, I'm surviving. I'm good. But I'm running this business and I want to make sure that this business is international standard. I want to make sure that my customers are happy. I want to think of their journey when coming to me, while they're with me and after me. Those people become good enough ambassadors. And when those people become good enough ambassadors, then Nigerians will begin to trust Nigerian brands more. If they can just find a few examples to just help them to gain that trust.
So I think that empathy starts from an unwavering focus on the customer and the customer's experience from before, during, and after they come in contact with your business or your product and your services. Mm-hmm. And I would like to argue that focusing on the customer not only will allow you survive because more customers would be chasing after that good experience, it would allow you to thrive.
Exactly.
Better than people who have that survival mentality.
True.
If you like what you've heard, you can check us out at tolaalabiconsulting.com.